welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we've got a story that honestly sounds like something from a movie script. There's this really surprising arrest. A guy claiming he's a film producer, right? But it turns out he's like right in the middle of this huge cyber fraud ring.
Yeah, it's quite the setup.
And we're not talking small amounts here. The figure is, what, 86 lakh laundered through these Mule accounts, and it connects to an international operation.
Exactly.
So our mission today really is to unpack this. It's fascinating, but also, frankly, pretty concerning. We want to understand how these rings work, how people get tangled up in them, and what it means for you listening.
It's a perfect case study, really. It shows just how sophisticated cybercrime has become, and maybe more importantly, how seemingly ordinary people can get drawn into these really complex cross-border financial schemes.
Yeah, ordinary people you'd never suspect.
Right. It points to a big vulnerability in our, digital lives.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. It all kicked off with one complaint, didn't it? A really devastating one.
That's right.
Picture this. You're a highly qualified IT professional. You know your way around tech, right? Doing some online research, looking for investment tips.
Mm-hmm.
You click a link and bam, suddenly 57 lakh of your savings just disappears. I mean, can you imagine? 57 lakh gone.
It's a staggering amount for one person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how does a scam like this even start? What's the mechanism here? How do they trap someone like that, especially someone tech savvy?
Well, that's the really insidious part. This person, they found a stock market tip video on YouTube, of all places, something millions of people might watch.
Right, totally normal.
Exactly. But there was a link in the video description, or maybe embedded. Clicking that link was the start of the trouble. It led them to a fake trading platform.
Okay, a fake platform. But how do they make it convincing?
This is the key. They use psychology. The platform initially shows profits.
Oh, right. So you think it's working?
Precisely. It builds this huge amount of trust. It makes the victim think, okay, this is legitimate. I'm making money. So they override their natural caution. They invest more. It's that illusion of success that really hooks them.
That's clever. Deceptive, but clever.
Very. And the victim, they only realized something was seriously wrong when they tried to withdraw those supposed profits. That's when the platform suddenly demanded multiple charges.
Yeah.
New fees, processing costs, random taxes.
All made up, presumably.
All completely fabricated. And by then, the money was effectively gone. They were duped.
Wow. That's chilling. Using success itself as the bait. So how did the police connect this back to the alleged film producer? Tracing money in these scams sounds incredibly difficult.
It is difficult, but they relied on classic police work.
Yep.
Follow the money. They meticulously traced the flow of that 57 lakh.
Okay.
And it led them directly to a specific bank account. An HDFC bank account registered to a company called Balaji Enterprises.
Balaji Enterprises.
Well,
And that company.
belonged to the man claiming to be a film producer. That was the crucial link, the first big break in the case.
So let's talk about him. Shivam Samvatsarkar, resident of Aaron Wayne, claims to be a film producer. Police knock on his door. I bet he denied it at first.
Oh, absolutely. Initial denial. But, during questioning, the story apparently started to crumble. He eventually admitted his role.
And what exactly did he confess to doing?
Well, his role was quite specific, and this is where the international angle really comes into play. He admitted he was collaborating with a Chinese national.
A Chinese national.
Yes, identified only by an alias, Bambino. Samvatsarkar's job essentially was to provide his bank accounts. He was letting them use his accounts to funnel the money from these scams.
Okay, so he was basically acting as a conduit for the dirty money. What was in it for him? Why take that risk?
Commission, allegedly. He claimed he was getting a 10% cut for every transaction that went through his account.
A percent.
That's what was claimed. And this brings us right to the heart of these operations, the concept of mule accounts.
Right, I've heard that term. Explain what that means here.
So individuals like Samvatsarkar act as mules. They use their legitimate bank accounts, or maybe set up new ones, specifically to receive and then quickly transfer illicit funds for criminals. They become these crucial intermediaries.
Why are they so important?
Because they help obscure the money trail. By passing the money through multiple clean accounts, it makes it incredibly hard for law enforcement to trace it back to the original source of the fraud, like Bambino in this case.
So they add layers of legitimacy, sort of.
Exactly. They launder the money. And investigators suspect Samvatsarkar wasn't new to this. They think he had been operating as a mule for at least 6 months. regularly giving his account details to these fraudsters.
6 months. So he was a key piece of the puzzle. But was he the only one? Or did this investigation uncover something bigger? It wasn't just about this one victim and this one mule, was it?
No, not at all. That's when the scale really became apparent. The investigators dug deeper into that Balaji Enterprises account. They found it had received over 86.43 lakh in total from various dodgy activities, way more than the initial 57 lakh. And there were, I think, at least 15 separate complaints filed against that one account.
15 complaints. Okay, so this was clearly a pattern, a systematic operation.
Absolutely. And connecting the dots further, the investigators started suspecting that some of Samvatsarkar's friends might also be involved in similar activities.
Really? Whole network?
Possibly. Earning, significant amounts quietly without attracting too much attention initially. It suggests a wider kind of local network supporting this international fraud ring, an ecosystem of mule accounts almost.
Wow, operating right under everyone's noses. So legally speaking, what happens now? What charges is Samvatsarkar facing for being this mule?
Well, he's facing some serious charges. He's been booked under sections of the new Bharatiya Sanhita, that's India's revamped criminal code. These cover things like criminal conspiracy, cheating, aiding financial fraud, and, very importantly, under the Information Technology Act as well, specifically sections 66C for identity theft and 66D for cheating using computer resources.
So significant charges. They reflect the tech aspect of the crime.
Definitely. It's not just simple fraud, it's tech-enabled fraud.
This whole case, it just really puts a spotlight on a massive problem, doesn't it? These international cybercrime groups seem relentless in finding ways to exploit us online.
It really does. It underscores yet again how these international rings are actively exploiting Indian mule networks and using platforms we trust, like YouTube, as hunting grounds to target professionals, people who think they're careful.
And the sophistication level just keeps going up.
It does, which raises that critical question for everyone listening. How do you tell the difference? How do you spot a legitimate opportunity versus one of these incredibly well-disguised scams, especially when they pop up on familiar sites?
Yeah, that's the $1 million or maybe the 86 lakh rupee question, isn't it? And we keep hearing warnings from authorities saying these things are not just getting smarter, but they're everywhere, becoming more widespread.
Right.
So staying informed, it's not just interesting anymore. It feels like a basic survival skill online.
It really is a critical defense. Because these scams, they're designed to look real, to bypass our usual filters. The main takeaway, I think, is to be incredibly skeptical, especially about online investment schemes promising huge returns quickly.
The too good to be true rule?
Always. Always verify independently. Don't just trust a link in a video or an unsolicited message. If it feels even slightly off or too good to be true, it almost certainly is.
Okay, so let's recap. We've walked through the strange case of Shivam Samvatsarkar. From that initial devastating YouTube trap catching a tech professional, all the way to this sprawling mule account network washing millions for international players. It's just a stark reminder, really, of the dangers hidden just below the surface of our digital lives.
Absolutely. And maybe the final thought to leave everyone with is this. In this hyper-connected world where we live so much through these digital platforms, how much attention are you really paying? Paying to those subtle signs, the little red flags that might indicate a sophisticated online trap.
That's a great point.
What proactive steps can we all take realistically to shield ourselves from these scams, especially when they're evolving so fast and appearing on trusted platforms we use every single day, like YouTube? It's something that requires constant vigilance, really, and a healthy dose of critical thinking from all of us.